Stand for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sunshine notice, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. Board of Commissioners, public meeting agenda for Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. The time is now 7:08. Pursuant to the requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, notice of this meeting was published in the December 7th, 2023 issues of the Nutley Sun, the Herald News, and the Star Ledger. A copy of this notice has been posted on the Nutley Town Hall Bulletin Board, and a copy is on file in the municipal clerk's office. Commissioner Evans.
Here.
Commissioner Tucci.
Here.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Here.
Commissioner Petracca.
Here.
Mayor Kelly.
Present.
All present, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Minutes, please.
Thank you. We have Board of Commissioner meeting minutes for July 16th, 2024, August 6th, 2024, August 20th, 2024, and September 30th, 2024.
Excuse
Move
me.
it.
Yeah,
Second.
Commissioner Evans?
yeah, clarification, September 3rd. right? I think you-
September 3rd, yes.
Yeah, you said 30th, okay, yeah. Aye,
Commissioner Tucci?
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli?
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca?
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye.
Executive session minutes, we have July 2nd, 2024, August 6th, 2024, sessions 1 and 2, August 20th, 2024, sessions 1 and 2, September 3rd, 2024, sessions 1 and 2, September 17th, 2024, and September 20th, 2024.
move it,
Second.
Commissioner Evans,
aye,
Commissioner Tucci,
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca,
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye.
And that's it for executive session minutes.
Communications, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. The mayor's office has submitted an event application to hold a family fun movie night on October 3rd, 2024, from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at Gantico Park by the Unity Sculpture area. I need a motion.
Move it. Second.
Commissioner Evans,
aye,
Commissioner Tucci,
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca,
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye.
And that's it for communications, Mayor.
Reports, Commissioner Evans.
yes, I have a code enforcement report for the month of August.
Thank you. Bills, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. We have a bill list for October 1st, 2024. Public Affairs, $109,242.97. Revenue and Finance, $2,985,621.41. Public Safety, $74,777.27. Public Works, $54,050.52. Parks and Public Property, $852,589.06. Water Utility, $42,732.02. Payroll as of September 27, 2024. Regular payroll total, $960,248.14. Overtime payroll total, $51,247.53. Total payroll, $1,011,495.67 for a grand total of $5,130,508.92.
Move it,
Second.
Commissioner Evans,
aye,
Commissioner Tucci,
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca,
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye.
And that's it for bills, Mayor.
We have public comment on agenda items only. Those who wish to be heard on agenda items only, please approach the microphone and state your name for the record. Seeing none, moving on to Board of Commissioner announcements. Commissioner Evans, you want to kick us off?
nothing this evening, Mayor, thank you.
Commissioner Tucci?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I just want to thank everyone that came out in that miserable weather on Sunday to the Franklin Fall Festival. I see Joy here. I know you were there and you were fighting the elements with the rest of us. We had a lot of resilient Nutley folks and some other folks from out of town who showed up. I just wanted to thank everyone for being there. I wanted to thank the vendors for sticking it out until 3 o'clock, and also the food vendors who took somewhat of a hit. So we're going to try and make that up to them at one of our other events. But still, even with the rain, it was a great Nutley event. On October 16th, from 6 to 8, we will have once again our grandparents pumpkin painting down at the Parks Department. And on October 25th, We will have our Parks Department Halloween Spectacular beginning at 6:30 until it ends. But I'll remind everyone about the spectacular again at the next meeting. But I just wanted to get it out there for now. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Commissioner Scarpelli?
I just want to thank Commissioner Tucci for inviting the farmer's market to the Fall Fest. And in spite of the weather, people did come out. There was a lot of people walking through with
It was
umbrellas
remarkable.
and boots on, and it turned out a good day for our vendors. So the best thing to be, I think, is a weatherman.
You got that right.
They said it was going to stop at 11 o'clock. Rained all day.
Commissioner, I noticed that the longest line at the farmer's market was for the booze, the whiskey, the vodka, and everything else.
Welcome to Nutley.
Commissioner Petracca?
I would just like to say, I experienced and been getting some phone calls from some of our residents on Park Drive in Center Street where that crosswalk is. A lot of the kids walk that way after school because they park that way. And cars are like that are making a left. Cars are randomly going to the right of them, almost hitting kids. Speeding in Nutley is overwhelming lately, and I've been getting a lot of complaints. We are going to really start enforcing on that. So please take your time. If you hit a kid, you have to live with that the rest of your life. Who knows if you'll go to jail or not with today's laws, but you have to live with that. So like I tell my own kids, my wife, my father, slow down around town because there's more people here and you don't want to live with something like that. Also, with the tick up with these car burglaries and this and that, I'm just urging all the residents again, just lock up your doors, lock your car doors, make sure they're locked. I have to say this too, it wouldn't be a bad idea to buy a dog. It's been proven in Nutley that any house that has a dog, and I happen to have 3 of them, the dogs bark, they go on to another house. So if you're a pet-friendly homeowner like I am, and I know Commissioner Tucci is, if you were thinking about buying a dog today, it would be a good time to do that. Thank you, Mayor. That's it.
Given today's technology, you can just get a dog barking app.
Thank you. And I can attest to the danger at the intersection of Park Drive and Center Street. I run through the parks and I'm constantly running across that crosswalk. And a lot of times, more often than not, someone's trying to go around, someone turning left and almost hits me. Luckily, I'm 6'3" and can see over the cars and they can see me, but they still blow right by me. But it is a dangerous intersection. And so definitely be careful. Be cognizant, pedestrians have the right of way. I have a list of events we have going on this month. We have the AARP Smart Driver Safety Course at the Nutley VFW. That's 271 Washington Avenue on this Thursday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. We have the Family Fun Movie Night at Yannicott Park this Thursday also at 6 p.m. We have a Hispanic Heritage Month celebration at Los Jarros Mexican Grill Restaurant, 85 Union Avenue. That's next Thursday, October 10th from 5 to 7 p.m. We have the upcoming Columbus Day Parade. It's always a great time. It's put on by the Nutley Belleville Columbus Day Parade Committee. Not put on by the town, but I did want to call attention to that to make sure anyone who wanted to attend can attend and knows about it. It's Sunday, October 13th, with a 12 p.m. step off. We also have a children's health clinic on Thursday, October 17th at 8:30 a.m. at the Health Department. We'll be having a Pause in the Park event at the Nutley Farmers Market on Sunday, October 20th at 9 a.m. till 2 p.m. And we will be having a spooky sprint in partner with the Nutley Family Service Bureau. We'll be running through Yannicott Park from Vincent Methodist Church starting at 3 p.m. to the Nutley Family Service Bureau to kick off their trunk or treat event. If you have any questions, please reach out to the health department. And we'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. We do have a presentation this evening from the Historic Preservation Committee. However, we have a very short agenda, so I'm going to ask you guys to just sit tight and we'll get through our business and then we'll hear from you guys. Moving on to ordinance introductions, Commissioner Petracco.
Okay, my first introduction is an ordinance to amend an ordinance codified in the code of the Township of Nutley, Chapter 228, entitled Vehicles and Traffic, particularly Article 7, Special Zones and Sections, 29A, entitled Handicap Parking, to add to the location set forth thereon. This is for 81 East Center Street. I move that this ordinance be passed to its second reading and advertised in the Nutley Sun, together with the notice required by law, that further consideration of said ordinance for final passage by the Board of Commissioners be held at its second reading on December 7th, I believe.
November
I move
7th.
it.
November.
Whoever.
I'm sorry, November 7th. November 7th it is?
Yes.
November 7th. Yep, I was close. Move it.
Second.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco,
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye.
Okay, my second one is an ordinance to amend the ordinance codified in the Code of the Township of Nutley, Chapter 2, entitled Vehicles and Traffic, particularly Article 7, Section 29A, entitled Handicap Parking, to
It's just-
add the location set forth thereon for 43. I move that this ordinance be passed to its second reading and advertised in Nutley Sun, together with notice required by law, and that further consideration of said ordinance for the final passage by the Board of Commissioners be held on its second reading on November 7th. I move it.
Second.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci,
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco,
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye.
Thank you, Mayor.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Thank you, Mayor. This is ordinance number 3565, an ordinance to amend an ordinance codified in the Code of the Township of Nutley, Chapter 484, entitled Parking Lots Municipal, particularly the following sections: Article 1, Section 8, entitled Hours of Service, Parking Fees, Monthly Parking. I move that this ordinance be passed to a second reading and advertised in the Nutley Sun, together with the notice required by law, and that further consideration of said ordinance for final passage by the Board of Commissioners to be held at a second reading on November 7th. This is just kind of adjusting our fees on parking. Move the ordinance.
Second.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci,
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco,
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye.
Ordinance number 3566, an ordinance to amend an ordinance codified in the Code of the Township of Nutley, Chapter 228, entitled Vehicles and Traffic, particularly Article 8, Article 13, Parking Meter Zones, Section 46, entitled Parking Meter Zones, to add to the location set forth therein. This is just changing all our zones that were some were 1 hour. They're all going to be 2 hours now. I move that this ordinance be passed to a second reading, advertised in Nutley Sun, together with the notice required by law, and that further consideration of said ordinance for final passage by the Board of Commissioners be held at a second reading on November 7th. I move the ordinance.
Second.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco,
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye. And Commissioner Evans or Commissioner Tucci, who wants to take ordinance number 3567?
I'll do it, Mayor. 3567 is introducing a bond ordinance to provide for improvements to Memorial Park 1, appropriating $640,000, issuing $580,000 in bonds or notes for the township. I move that this ordinance be passed to a second reading and advertised in the Nutley Sun, together with a notice required by law, and that further consideration of said ordinance for final passage by the Board of Commissioners be held at its second reading on November 7th, 2024. So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci.
Before I vote, I'd just like to give everyone a brief history of what this is. This is a FEMA grant, and I want to thank Commissioner Evans for putting this ordinance on so quickly today, because it's a reimbursement situation where we have to come up with the money and then we will be reimbursed by FEMA. This is where what the DEP and FEMA is calling a raking of the mud hole, all right, to make it deeper. So on the edges, it'll be anywhere from 2 to 3 feet deep, and in the center, it'll be 8 foot deep. All right, hopefully, to alleviate some of the flooding and some of the overflow that we get on Vreeland and Passaic Avenue and throughout. I vote aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli?
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca?
Before I vote, I'd just like to thank the both of you because I think it'll even improve the fishing down there. I vote aye too. Yes, thank you.
Someone just caught a, what, a 12-pound carp, Frank?
Yes.
In the
Heard
mud.
about that. Yeah,
Pretty exciting.
it is.
Mayor Kelly?
Aye. We have no ordinances on for second readings and public hearings, but it looks like November 7th will have a busy schedule. Resolutions, Commissioner Evans?
Thank you, Mayor. I have one this evening. Whereas, and this is on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, whereas the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley hereby acknowledges the need to incur preliminary costs to determine the scope and cost of a proposed undertaking. The purpose of these preliminary costs is to determine the feasibility of acquiring property for public use, and that the amount to be charged for this is for the purpose for which bonds may be issued under Chapter 2 of Title 40A. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley, County of Essex, State of New Jersey, does hereby authorize up to $150,000 to be appropriated for the above purpose, and that the Chief Financial Officer is authorized to set up a reserve for preliminary expense out of the Capital Improvement Fund of the General Fund of the Township. So moved.
Second,
Commissioner Evans?
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci?
abstain.
Commissioner Scarpelli?
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca?
Aye.
Mayor Kelly?
Aye. Commissioner Tucci?
Yes, thank you. Whereas Township of Nutley has a need to acquire specialized and professional ACA reporting services to ensure compliance with IRS regulations for the year 2024 reporting. And whereas such services may be acquired as a non-fair and open contract pursuant to the provisions of NJSA 19:44A 20.5. And whereas Prime Point LLC located at 2 Springside Road, West Hampton, New Jersey, has submitted a proposal dated September 16, 2024, with an anticipated cost of $7,375 to complete these services and ensure compliance on behalf of the township. And whereas funds are available from budget account 4-01-526-200 and have been certified by the Chief Financial Officer, said certification being attached to this resolution. And whereas Prime Point LLC has completed and submitted a business entity disclosure certification, which certifies Prime Point has not made any reportable contributions to a political or candidate committee in the Township of Nutley in the previous 1 year, and that the contract will prohibit Prime Point from making any reportable contributions throughout the term of the contract. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of Township of Nutley, County of Essex, State of New Jersey, hereby authorize the mayor and township clerk to enter into a contract with Prime Point LLC. I move the resolution.
Second.
Commissioner Evans?
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci?
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli?
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca?
Aye.
Mayor Kelly?
Aye.
Whereas Township of Nutley has a need to acquire specialized professional services as a fair and open contract pursuant to the provision of NJSA 19:44A 20.5. And whereas Department of Parks and Public Property has a need to acquire specialized professional services for a New Jersey licensed certified tree expert for forestry services throughout the Township of Nutley. Now therefore be it resolved that the municipal clerk is hereby authorized and directed to advertise for a request for qualifications for Township Forester. Be it further resolved that the request for qualifications shall be due on Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024 at 11 a.m., addressed to the municipal clerk, Nutley Township Hall, 1 Kennedy Drive, Nutley, New Jersey. I move the resolution.
Second.
Commissioner Evans?
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci?
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli?
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca?
Aye.
Mayor Kelly?
Aye.
Whereas the Township of Nutley Ordinance 665-22, Preservation of Trees, states that tree removal permits must be obtained for a cost of $50 per tree. And whereas the Township of Nutley Department of Parks and Public Property authorizes a refund for each tree permit submitted upon the planting of a new tree on said property, replacement tree in size and species must be approved in advance by the Township Forester. And whereas funds will be available from account C-01904-905. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley, County of Essex, State of New Jersey, that the Township Treasurer is authorized to refund the tree permit fee collected as per the Shade Tree Preservation Ordinance to Shane Granberg, 151 Highfield Lane for 1 tree in the amount of $50. I move the resolution.
Second.
Commissioner Evans?
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci?
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli?
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca?
Aye.
Mayor Kelly?
Aye.
Whereas Italian Americans have made significant contributions across diverse fields, including the arts, sciences, civil service, military, athletics, and education. And whereas Italian Americans represent one of the largest ethnic groups in the United States, enriching the nation's cultural landscape. And whereas in recognition of the accomplishments of Christopher Columbus, recognized as one of the greatest explorers in world history, a National Observance Day was established in October of every year. And whereas Italian American Heritage and Culture Month provides an opportunity to celebrate the vibrant heritage of Americans of Italian descent and their profound impact on our nation. And whereas the Italian American community has contributed so much to the rich cultural and historical tapestry of New Jersey. And whereas the phrase in the Declaration of Independence, all men are created equal, was inspired by the Italian patriot and immigrant Philip Mazzi. And whereas through the years, Americans have followed the spirit of Christopher Columbus through exploration of land, sea, and space. And whereas upon their arrival in the United States, Italian Americans faced various forms of discrimination, yet they have shown remarkable resilience, striving for the American dream and contributing to the growth of our communities. And whereas Italian Americans run successful businesses, educate future generations, serve in government at all levels, and excel in numerous professions, drawing on the strength and principles of their ancestors to lead in every facet of American life, dedicating their knowledge and skills to the growth of our country. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley in the County of Essex, the State of New Jersey, join with the citizens of Nutley to observe the month of October as Italian American Heritage and Culture Month and respect all that Italian Americans have contributed toward the growth and development of the Township of Nutley, State of New Jersey, and the United States of America. I proudly move this resolution.
Second.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci,
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca.
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Scarpelli, do you have anything this
Nothing
evening?
on the agenda tonight, Commissioner. Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Petracca?
Yes, be it resolved by the Township of Nutley and the County of Essex and the State of New Jersey as follows. The Township of Nutley is authorized to accept a subaward grant from the State of New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety, Office of Attorney General, in the amount of $45,150 under the Safe and Secure Communities Program Grant number 25-0716, with a match of fringe benefits and salary for a total project cost of $381,012.25. And just to be clear, that's not what we're paying. We're getting $45,000. Thank you, my friend. Mayor John V. Kelly III, Chief Strumala are authorized to execute, and Township Clerk to attest the sub-grant award in connection with this grant and any other documents in connection with this grant. The Township of Nutley is accepting this grant of funds for purpose described in the application. Subaward award period, August 1st, 2024 to July 31st, 2025. A certified copy of this resolution shall be provided by the office and the Township Clerk of each following: the Mayor, the Township Attorney, Chief Financial Officer, Police Department, State of New Jersey Attorney General's Office, and the Office of the Attorney General, Department of Law and Public Safety. I move the resolution.
Second.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca,
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye. And I have one resolution on this evening, resolution number 27024, which is jointly introduced by both myself and Commissioner Petracca. And this is to make October National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Whereas domestic violence encompasses any violence taking place in a family or intimate relationship, whereas the abuse is not only physical, but can be verbal and may include sexual assaults, threats, financial control, and or isolation. In the United States, 48.8% both men and women have been subjected to psychological abuse during their lifetime by an intimate partner. And whereas domestic violence is prevalent in every community and affects all people regardless of age, socioeconomic status, sexual orientation, gender, race, religion, or nationality. And whereas on average, nearly 32 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner in the United States. During 1 year, this equates to more than 16 million women and men. Whereas 1 in 2 women and 2 in 5 men have been physically abused by an intimate partner, and 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men have been severely physically abused by an intimate partner. Whereas domestic violence is the leading cause of injury in women between ages 18 and 34. And whereas victims of domestic violence are encouraged to call the National Domestic Violence Hotline or reach out to local agencies and police departments for assistance. You can reach out to both the health department and the police if you're in need in Nutley. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners, Township of Nutley, County of Essex, State of New Jersey, recognize the month of October as National Domestic Violence Awareness Month and support educational and outreach programs promoting awareness of domestic violence and support of its victims. So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca.
I just like to add a couple comments to that. So I've been in office and the Public Safety Commissioner for the last 16 years. I've gotten phone calls from family members, friends, cousins, acquaintances, from everyone when they're involved in domestic violence. Once you go past that threshold, there is nothing in the world that I could do for you, a cop could do for you, or anybody else. The mayor handles the health side of it and the more warm and fuzzy for the victims and all that stuff. I hate seeing friends of mine, and actually have seen over the years, parents going at it with their kids. That's also domestic violence, which is horrible. And believe me, I have my own family and we're not perfect either, but it's easier to walk away because if you don't start digging in your pockets, and please, but my phone's always on for everybody, but there is absolutely, we have no discretion. The cops do not have any discretion. And I have to tell you, in Nutley, like all over the state, the last few years, it seems like these cops go on 3 domestic violence a night now. So please walk away from your partner, cool off, cool down, and tomorrow maybe you'll be in love again. But please walk away. Thank you. I vote aye.
Mayor Kelly.
As my mom always says, count to 10 before you say or do anything. I vote aye as well. Moving on to the meeting, public, we'll open the meeting to the public. Anyone wishing to be heard on anything, please approach the microphone, state your name for the record. Just let the, and then we'll go to the presentation.
Hi, Donna Ferraro, 34 Roosevelt Street. I understand to a degree, I'll push it up. It's coming back down. I understand to a degree about the concept of the sewerage and the water situation, the bills, and everybody is complaining. So my question is it true that the households that have pools and sprinkler systems are going to be receiving discounts?
That is true.
It is true.
Yeah.
Is it just for the summer months?
Just, it's a one-time quarter, 10% credit.
Okay,
10% for the, I think it's 5% for a pool, 10% for the sprinkler system.
okay.
We're also going to look at that, Donna, further down the road for next year. Because there are people out there that don't have sprinkler systems, but still water their gardens and we're cognizant of it. This is a work in progress. We're 3 months into this.
I know.
So we're looking at that. We're looking at if we're going to average the rest of the year and do that, or an option to put a meter on your outside, and which would deduct any water that you used outside. That comes with quite an expense to install a meter. So there are other things we're looking at going into next year.
Okay, that was going to be my question is I water my lawn. I let my kids go, grandchildren go in the sprinkler. And I just wanted to, for all the households to be able to get a discount during the summer.
Just
That was my
unless
question.
Commissioner Evans wants to jump in, I'll just say that we're finding that there was a lot of inequities
Mhm,
in the way sewage was paid for by the homeowners
mhm.
and businesses. And this is certainly more equitable based on your usage.
Right.
Our sewer bill to Passaic Valley Sewage is metered as it enters into their trunk line. So anything going through that system gets billed to us. So it's not some kind of, we have no control besides what people put into the sewage system
Yeah.
on what we get billed. So we had to kind of find a better way and a more equitable way of billing that
Yeah.
to the homeowners.
That I understood that. It was just, I was going to ask for a discount for all the households that
Well,
water their
we're,
lawn and,
we're working on it.
all right, thank you
Yeah,
very
the-
much. I
The
appreciate it.
challenge is that for many years, people would compare high taxes in Nutley and they were lower in other towns. And when we looked at it, of the 18 towns in Essex County that we're more comparable to, Nutley was the only town that continued to include the cost of sewer in our property tax bill. So it didn't make sense to say that someone's sewer bill should be determined based upon the value of their house.
Yeah.
Right, it just didn't make any sense. Most towns have separate utilities. Some don't, but they actually send out a separate bill anyway. So everyone has been charging. We were different. And so we're now in the process of migrating the costs of sewer from the municipal books to a new combined utility, and we'll complete that transition over the next year. So, and when you think about it, just the bill that we get for sewer from Passaic Valley Sewer is $4.2 million,
So,
right? That one bill alone.
mhm.
When you think about the manpower and all the services and everything that goes with it, the billing service and everything else, that number gets up closer to $5.6 million. So you're dividing that. Now, you can think about houses where you have people who are low users because they only have one person in the house or two people in the house, but have a nice house, are subsidizing the use elsewhere, including because it's a universal tax rate, including commercial. So think about the car washes, the laundromats, restaurants that are all higher users of and contributors to sewer. We're basically being subsidized, in a way that this didn't seem fair.
Yeah.
And I know it's shocking. And Commissioner Scarpelli and I have had, multiple conversations about what do we do and how to better measure the use of sprinklers and water that's being used in gardens and different places that we know isn't going into the sewer system.
Yeah.
So the water charge is correct. What we're working on is how do we come to a better way of charging on the sewer side, recognizing that in certain months and certain circumstances, that amount that's being billed may not be right. So right now, since we started in July, we're using this 6 months to gather data and information to come up with a better way of doing it. And believe me, Commissioner Scarpelli has heard me pretty much every day for the last 2 months, talking to him about the increase in my bill. So, which he no longer wants to hear, but the point is, I happen to have a sprinkling system at my house that has 5 zones and drip lines and all this other stuff. So I know it's not going into the sewer system, but there's no way of accounting for that water usage other than to come up with, many towns do, which is estimate. And so what we started out with wasn't arbitrary. If you look around multiple towns, not just in Essex County, they generally identify it as a 10% credit. And that's it. We recognize that. We're not trying to figure out something
Okay.
that could be better and fairer.
Yeah. Well, I was just looking for the summer because.
Commissioner Evans has a
That's
very green lawn also.
That was it. I just wanted it to be fair to homeowners during the summer. That's all.
Yeah.
So,
That's
okay,
not- no,
thank you very much for
very-
answering the question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard? Seeing none, without further ado, we'll move into the long-awaited presentation from the Historic Preservation Trust.
Good evening, everyone. Just want to make it clear that we're not here from the Preservation Committee. I'm here tonight from the Van Riper House. So
Sorry, I apologize.
we all wear a couple hats here, and so we're here tonight for a few different reasons. we want to give you guys some perspective as to what we've been up to over the last 5 years since we reorganized the nonprofit. We did a big study and we want to talk about what we came up with our professionals for future use of the property. And we want to talk about our main issue, which is the provision of water and sewer service, which is already being talked about tonight, to the house, which remains a challenge and is something we will need to do some hard thinking about together over the next couple of years as we move into our construction phase. Just a little background. Here's the oldest picture we have of the house in its natural state. This is what the house looked like in 2019. The roof was falling off. There was vegetation in the building. We had a pretty big rodent infestation. We had a lot of raccoons. We had a lot of squirrels. And it was not a good situation. We didn't have the organizational wherewithal before our reorganization to take care of the house, which was a shame, but we were able to bring it today to looking like this. We replaced the roof. We've cleared the house of the infestation, and we've done a lot of things to keep the house stable as is while we work out our plan. Just a little bit about who we are. We're a 501c3 nonprofit founded in 1995 to save the Van Riper House from demolition. I'm the president of the organization. John Demmer is here. Our town historian is our vice president. And also here we have Teresa Delano, our secretary, and Barbara Hirsch, who's a director on our board. And we also have Jean Van Steen, who's a big supporter of ours. We'll acknowledge her presence as well. Just a brief history. The Van Riper House was a farmhouse built in 1788. It was a farmhouse for about 100 years, and then it was a private home. And then after that, it was sold to ITT to become an executive residence because their campus surrounded it. And then it was abandoned after the early 1990s. And our organization fought to save it. And it was deeded to the township by Town and Country, the developer of Cambridge Heights in 2001. We've had a leasehold on the property, but before that happened, there was a massive fire. I'll skip to that. Massive fire on January 2nd, 2000, and that set the effort back pretty far. And the restoration efforts have stopped and started since then, but we're on a pretty good track today. This is a nationally significant type of architecture. It only exists right here in New Jersey and southern New York. It's a survivor and it deserves to be preserved. And we were trying to finish the mission that was started almost 30 years ago today. Just to give an idea of the scale of the Van Riper property, that blue is the Van Riper farm and the red is where Cambridge Heights is now. So they had everything from the river to Kingsland Park at one point. And this was the central farmhouse that was the centerpiece of the property. It's where people lived, where the farm animals were tended from. And it really is a survivor because if you look at all the development around it today, it's amazing that it's still where it is. Just some before and after, I'm going to click through really fast. This is what it looked like when when ITT purchased the property. That's where these pictures are from. This is then and now. A lot of soot damage we still have inside. That's inactive water damage. That's our hearth. I hit on the roof replacement. We've been having fundraisers on site. They've been very popular. We're getting up to upwards of 375 people coming every year. It's really helping our bottom line. We've raised almost $20,000 that way. We've also been very successful with trust grants from the New Jersey Historic Trust. We got a $64,000 grant in 2022, which produced this study I'm going to talk about. And we just got word last week that we got another $10,000 grant to further that process and get this house finally on the national and state historic registers. And to be clear about our relationship with the township, we have a lease on the entire property that was extended in 2019 for another 20 years. So our lease is out to 2039. So our plan right now is to complete this preservation plan that I'm going to talk about. We're going to get listed on the registers, start some design with some other grant money that we can get in the next round. And then in the 2027 range, we're really going to be going out for grant money to do some capital projects, some major capital items. And I'll go through what's urgent and what's not. This preservation plan that we just got done by Hunter Research, this is sort of step one of the process. We don't want to dive into this massive project of the house without really understanding the full scope of the conditions of the house, the history of the house. It tells us what we need to do, in what order, and it also gives us cost estimates. So this is a necessary step one that we had to do before we really start doing anything with the house. There's a lot of components. It was completed by Hunter Research. It's in final draft form, which is why we're here tonight. Historical analysis. We did a massive archaeology day. I'll show some pictures of that. We did a structural and mechanical, electrical, plumbing evaluation, a full code analysis. And we have recommendations and priorities and a cyclical maintenance plan and cost estimates from this. So it's a 450-page report, and I'll make sure you guys all get the link to that so you can read it. It's if you want. Key findings to us are that the house was built around 1788. There's been a lot of talk over the years about it being revolutionary, a witness to the revolution, but that's simply not true. The house is structurally sound as is. There's no pressing structural issue that would just have us, sort of pack up and leave. We won't need fire sprinklers in the house because based on the fire code, it wouldn't be required, and that would probably be a big added cost, but it is recommended. We came up with a use proposal based on feedback from the public and also looking at other historic houses that have been properly restored in the area as a community meeting event space with some small exhibit areas. But this is not going to be like another historic house museum. It's not going to be the Kingsland Manor again. It's not going to be the Nutley Museum again. This is an adaptive reuse. There's really not a market for historic house museums in America today, new ones, that is. The interior is not inherently historic in that it's mostly from the 1930s inside. The outside is original. So this is sort of a blank slate that we can work with. And I want to get some feedback from the township because there's opportunities for the town to use it for their own programming as well. And there's going to be, I'll walk through this, and then the biggest urgent priorities that we need to do, priority number one in this report, and you guys each have a copy of chapter 5, which lays that all out, is a water and sewer connection. The engineers said the aspirational number is a 2.5-inch line. I think that might be tough. So we'll get into that. This is what proves that the house wasn't built the Revolutionary War. This is George Washington's surveyor's map. The house isn't on it, and he never really messed up. So that's one of the pieces of evidence. Some of the archaeological items we found on the property. This is a pretty fun exercise. We had all the Nutley High School archaeology students out for the day. Really good learning experience. So let's go through the proposed future use. The total house capacity, you can have 103 people on the first floor. If you use the upstairs as office space, if you want to put a town office in there or have a nonprofit office in there, you can fit 8 people working. And if it was a classroom space, which is another idea that we had, saw some other uses, you could fit about 34 people. We put the bathrooms in the current garage. You can see that purple square. That would allow it to be used for public events as well without having to enter the house. The main living room would be the meeting and event space. And then there'd be some gallery space on the left-hand side of the house. And then the existing kitchen could be a small meeting room with a kitchenette with some storage. And there is a porch on the south side of the house that could be restored. But there's some concern for vandalism there because it'd be open. So this is all very early. These aren't design plans or anything like that. These are just suggestions that can guide design plans when we get to that point. And then the upstairs. The upstairs is open right now. On the north side of the building, there's no floor because that's where the fire was. So there's an opportunity to put a big room in there, and that can be a multi-purpose space. We have all these artifacts from the archaeology we'll store in another room, and then there could be office space in the front room. This is an example. This is our favorite example of, we did a comparative analysis. We went all around. Passaic County has an excellent historic preservation program. They allocate millions of dollars at the county level to acquire and rehabilitate the properties, and they often use them as county offices and have them serve different functions. This one's an art center. It's in Hawthorne. It's in a park. It's the same exact layout as Van Riper. The ceilings are just taller. It's the same exact type of Dutch house. You can see there's gallery space on the first floor. There's offices in there as well. And the upstairs, the picture on the right, it's a giant open room that you can see all the original beams with. And we have the same sort of configuration. So we'd like to pursue a layout where that space is left open like that, which I think would be a pretty cool space. So I want to just pause if anyone has anything on what we're thinking about using the property for, or if anyone has any ideas from their specific departments or anything like that. Okay. The biggest problem, we can't get here at what we're talking about without taking care of the water and sewer issue. Just from a general perspective, the township is a landlord in this situation, and water is typically provided by the landlord, or in general statement. We can't proceed with this restoration project. We can't do what we do without sitting down and coming up with a focused plan to get water service to the house. The water service was formerly from the rear of the house into the ITT complex. That's when it had running water from a water system. Before that, it was on a well. And whenever Cambridge Heights was built, there doesn't appear to have been a provision made to connect it to any water system. And right now, we're kind of too far from I had a conversations with Dr. Scarpelli a few years ago, and there's a real issue with connecting to the Nutley service, because you see on this map on the left, that red line is where the water line stops in the Nutley service, where it intersects the Jersey City line. And it's about 950 feet to the house. And it's the same deal with the sanitary sewer. So we're kind of in a pickle that way, but there's also this utility easement, because when Cambridge Heights was building Cambridge Heights, when Town and Country was, they were not planning to have, they were planning to have another row of houses where Van Riper was. So they just continued building their utilities through the property. So from the deed to the property, we know that there is sanitary sewer, water main, and storm sewer in that easement. But what we don't know is who owns those mains. I understand that Cambridge Heights gets its water from Jersey City, but I don't know how the individual units within Cambridge Heights are built and who owns the mains. The HOA might own the easement, but we need to figure out if we can tap into that. If we have to execute some sort of easement, I don't know who would be involved, whether it be the township as the property owner. So whether they have capacity to service the house, and what utilities are actually there. And I believe that the engineering department has something on file that shows the utility map. But we need to come to some sort of, either have a solution worked out, have an agreement in place before we proceed with any sort of construction activity at the Van Riper house. And if this isn't the answer, it might come from the Clifton Water Service, or we might have to revert to well water. But that would be a suboptimal condition for the house if it's going to be used in a public fashion like this. Sewer was likely septic in the old days, but the Cambridge easement does have a sewer line, and it's 50 feet to the house. So if we can get there, that would be optimal. We're not asking to, for the town to turn around tomorrow and issue a bond and figure this out and pay for it. But we need to sit down and have a focused discussion and come up with a plan here because it's going to hold everything else that we want to do up. So break for, does anyone have any feedback on these items?
I do, Dante, of course. I appreciate your presentation and we've been looking at this for a long time. It's a very challenging because as you stated, it's almost 1,000 feet from the end of our system to get to the Van Riper house. From what we know in that easement, it's a storm and sanitary line. There's no water in there.
Okay.
The water is back on the Cambridge Heights side, and then there's the question of whose main is it? And we believe it's their main.
Like
So-
the HOA owns that main?
Yeah. So we would have to work with them, but that's 250 feet away. So
Right.
it's not close. So the other options obviously are Jersey City and Passaic Valley Sewage, Passaic Valley Water, to see where their lines are. We don't have those on our maps. We don't
Mhm.
know. So we would have to work with the city of Clifton. You know, Regency is supplied by Jersey City. They have a Jersey City fire hydrant and they have a Passaic Valley fire hydrant in front of them. So
So their lines sort of meet right there?
I don't know if they meet. We
Okay.
don't, like I said, we don't have those utilities on our maps.
Mhm.
We'd have to meet with the city of Clifton and see if there was a possibility of tapping into those and where they are, and how far, and if they're willing to do that. So those are the challenges ahead. So I don't know if the commissioners have any questions on that, but it's a challenge. And like I said, Dante's approached me at least 2 years ago.
It was about 3 years ago, but we wanted to stop asking you and actually figure out if this is worth, the house is worth saving.
But listen,
meantime.
it's going to be a board of commissioners decision because we got to figure out one, if we want to pursue that, the cost of that, and those are decisions I think we have to look at and make.
Do we have any idea what the cost associated with that is?
And there's a full cost estimate packet in the folder that you guys have. But
I saw the full part. I'm just talking about the.
yeah, I have it in
Water
here.
and sewer part.
So the water service, this is with a 300 linear foot of pipe, 1,800 square feet of paving, and a $12,500 allowance, estimated at $59,000. And the sewer with the same materials and paving need, $64,000. So we can go out for a capital grant once we're on the state and national registers, if we have a plan in place, and it's I think at that size, I don't know if that's a capital level 1 or 2, but it's either 1-to-1 or 3-to-2 matching. If the township, that's half off. So if the township wants to help us with that, or we can fundraise to that goal. But in the meantime, we need to figure out what our alternatives are and have that in order.
So Dante, if I'm listening correctly, all of the things that you would like to do with the property, turn on your ability to get water and sewer to that.
People have to go to the bathroom. So yes. And then,
Am I correct, is your estimate to do that is a little shy of 200 grand?
the urgent items include interior tasks, which aren't related to the water and sewer. So together, that's a 59 plus 64 is like $125,000.
Commissioner, we think it may be a little more than that.
I'm thinking that sounds very low to me. But it seems to me that, money is something that we can talk about and work out. It's a question of whether or not any of this is doable. And so before we get to how much it's going to cost, it's a question of, is it feasible?
Right. And when we're talking about total project costs for a full bore restoration to the highest possible Department of Interior standards, we're talking about $2 million, but that could be way down the line. I mean, if you look at the Kingsland Manor, it took them 50 years to get to their phase 3. So we're going to do what we can, but it starts with the water service because you can't go, even if we wanted to do the project, you can't go, a restoration project, you can't go to the state and ask for a grant, which is what we've been relying on. And there's no provision for water or sewer. It just doesn't work. And, so what we're really looking to just figure out what the facts are at the end of the day, where there is service, who owns the lines, what capacity is there, and what we need to do, whether it's between the township and a utility, the township and the Cambridge Heights umbrella HOA, and the water utilities, whatever it needs to be. We just want to have the facts in hand so we can pick some options and discuss this together. Thank you.
I just like to comment. I'll tell you, for 200,000 to run water to a building, I think I've been in the wrong business all my life because it sounds very expensive to me. But if Cambridge Heights does have that line, and I think you should work with our town because it seems like a very, more economic way to do it. I love the parties on the lawn, Dante. I really do. And I am a history buff and I love the buildings. I follow John with all the history and it's great. Would you guys consider renting the building out that, like, let's just say, and I'm not the finance guy.
Excuse me, you need to be careful with that. All right. And we would have to explore that because that could jeopardize your nonprofit status. I saw that in the recommendation part that you, I believe on the main level, you were possibly looking to create some office space, some professional rental office space. We're not sure, we'd love for you to do that, but we're not sure that that's something that can.
What if it was to another nonprofit organization?
It's again, a not-for-profit is not in the business of making a profit.
Understood.
We had one location in Nutley who, with all good intentions, it was a not-for-profit, and they decided that they had too much space. They chose to lease it out because it was helping them pay the taxes and everything else in the property. They lost their tax exempt status and actually converted the property to become now taxable.
Right. The township is the owner here. We're a lessee, and that would be a sublease situation. We have the right within our lease to do that.
Care,
But
custody and control. Our involvement is minimal.
I understood, and we thank the Parks Department for keeping the grounds up. That's
Yeah, and again,
very important.
Once we get, I believe, and I think I can speak for everyone, more information as to what actual costs are, and maybe we can do this in phases over several years. And I understand, the urgency of getting the water and sewer in there because everything, no pun intended, everything flows from that. Okay.
It truly does.
And then we can decide, what we can do legally, to help you folks support the house and what we can't do.
I appreciate that. That's
At the other side, township, you're not for profit, you're not in it for profit,
we're not.
but it's municipal owned property. Then you raise, if you then convert it to a for-profit purpose, right? That, what business of it is the municipality is leasing something for profit? Because then we would be expecting a lease payment.
Yes, and I think it's a property dedicated for public purpose, and our lease specifically specifies it's for nonprofit community purposes. So
Again.
yeah.
90%
Yes. The upstairs space is not something that we want to rent to a third party. We'd rather it be maybe used by the town, for example. Maybe this becomes some sort of town satellite office or something like that. The upstairs
Look,
part.
The possibilities are endless.
And
I mean, we
the
have a
reason,
creative writing program, we have art programs, a space similar to yours or your space.
Yeah.
Once we get to that point, could be ideal for some of these smaller programs.
and that's what a lot of these houses are used for. A lot of the ones we visited. But that's a long ways away. So we just need to come up and figure out the facts about the water service, because that's our roadblock today. The National Register nomination portion is going to take us 18 to 24 months. We just got recommended for the grant. So we're talking about the end of 2026 before we're on the register and can even apply for capital grants and fundraise for it. So we have some waiting time, and there's a phasing plan that's in your folders. It's one of the foldouts. If you guys want to look at that in your own time, it sort of shows the timing and how we expect to do this. But in the meantime, we need to get some facts in front of us and figure this out.
I think this was a very informative, very detailed, very well presented presentation. And it's certainly a conversation starter for us on the Board of Commissioners to start talking about some of these things. For your funding sources, and I don't think you got to that slide yet, but you mentioned the possible funding sources, the county government. Have you spoken to the county?
We have not. Essex County does not have a robust historic preservation program. It's actually, even within Bergen, Essex, Passaic, it's probably the worst out of the three, unfortunately. And I talked to a lot of my colleagues in the preservation space in Essex County, and everyone's sort of going at it alone. But Passaic County does millions of dollars. It has its own part of the county government that's just for that. I don't know what they do in Bergen, but maybe one day Essex County could help us. So
maybe we'll lend you out to start it.
So I'm looking at all of you, and I'm so proud of all of you because, as you know, I'm an old person. I've had most of you in school, and one of you, their parents in school a long, long time ago. Aren't we lucky to have a Dante, a young man who took an organization that was not going anywhere, and with his leadership, look where we are today. And the only look at all the possibilities we can talk about that we can use this for the legacy of our town, for your legacies, for mine, for his. So the only thing to me, and it seems simple, I know it's not, we need water. What I would like to ask, Mayor, particularly, that we have a liaison with the Board of Commissioners. It could be one person, it could be two, or whatever you feel, so that we could meet periodically. Not just come to a commission meeting and but we need your ideas. We need to talk. We need a liaison to the county. There's no question. The county, as you know, has funds available for various things. Why not the Van Riper? But we don't have a way to get there. You do. So that's what I would like to ask you, to preserve all of our legacies we're so lucky to have a young man like this who is so passionate about our community. Because I'm not going to be here that much longer. I'm almost 82 years old. I want to see this happen. I want a potty at Van Riper before I die. So need your help in doing that. So Mayor Kelly.
Thank you. It does seem like this might be a good candidate for a committee. That's something that we would discuss with the town attorney and assign one or two commissioners if it's advisable.
yeah, I think that would be really helpful, just to have some sort of standing meeting, whether we meet once a quarter and just talk about things. And there's a lot of moving parts here. It's the Parks Department owns, runs the public property. They're the landlord in the sense. And then Public Works is the utility master in town. So there's two moving parts there. And then if we're talking about funding, then we're talking revenue and finance. So it's we need to collaborate here. And we can set something up, or I can reach out maybe to the town attorney to figure something out. I think that would be good. And really start, I think step one is to dig into those engineering drawings and really understand what's there. And we can reach out to Clifton, we can reach out to JCMUA as needed. It's not too hard to gather the information, but we want to sit down together and look at it together. I'm gonna yield the floor to John Demmer. He's gonna have some closing words. If anyone has anything else before I step back.
I feel like I got kicked off the committee before I started, Dante, but it's, I'm teasing.
Well, I know that the police love to use it to pull people over. The property is good for that. You hide behind the big tree. You guys can keep doing that as long as you want. And the trash will have to get picked up one day too. So everyone's covered now.
Thank you, Dante.
Good evening, everyone. I don't want to reiterate too much of the stuff that's going on here, but I just want to say it's a pleasure to speak before you today, especially heading into my 28th year as town historian. And heading into that time, I realized that this particular house has been in that whole 28 years. It's always been a focus. It's always been a dream. And I've been on this journey with this house for a long time, but I've never felt more comfortable that we're finally getting somewhere. More has happened in the last 5 years than in the previous 25. And that is because of the new leadership. Van Riper House obviously built 1788. And if for those of you who might know the history, New Jersey did its first census in 1790. And at that time, the whole county, all of Essex County only had 18,000 people in it. New Jersey only had 185,000 people. And to put that into perspective, Newark currently has 305,000. So you can imagine, if you can, take yourself back to when you have this massive riverfront property, this wonderful brownstone, and we talk about Italian heritage. This brownstone comes from the quarries that would eventually bring the Italian Americans that we know today here for our Avondale section. So beyond the reports and the wonderful things that have been said, there's a personal touch to this house that represents Nutley and represents who we are and where we've come from. Up until now, it was hard to come before you guys because all we had was a dream. There was just a dream, and you can't build on a dream. We can't come to you and say, we really want this, and this is a dream. But now there's a significant plan. I mean, we went really out of our way to have a 450-page plan, and so much of it just hinges on the water. And I know that's the major issue, and it's been beaten around here, but please look into that, because without that, this whole 28-year journey that I've been on, this whole last 5 years, all these grants that are ahead of us, they're going to come to a stop. And that would be tragic. That would be tragic to come to this point and say, well, we're just going to leave it as an empty shell of a house. So obviously we have major parties there. We have a lot of, we've gotten this grant now to put it on the National Register, and we're not pressing you. We're not saying next year, let's all go run in the sprinklers of the new connected water system. We have a multi-year plan, and we're willing to work with you on that, but we need to start the conversation now. And today has to sort of be day one with us partnering with you. I look at the property. I know people come up and say, oh my gosh, look at this. I've been a carpenter for 40 years. I look at that house. I'm not scared at all. The construction aspect of it, not a problem. It's got a terrific foundation for terrific structure, brand new roof on it. It can sit for a couple of years while we work out these certain details to move forward. I think that I want to work as a partner with all of you on this. And I want you to now buy into the dream, because the dream is backed up by a plan. So if we could, let's make this building a Nutley gem, a one-of-a-kind thing, one of the few, if not only the only, last remaining brownstone on the Passaic River. And let's just make this trip together and see what we can do as a team now to make this an actual project, something that we can celebrate and finish. And it's obtainable. It's within all of our lifetimes here to get this property done within a 5 to 10 year program. So again, thank you very much. I love this town. I love the history of it. I will continue that, but I will continue to fight for this house as strongly as I can, because I feel like we've been together for a long time. It's almost like a partner. So please take this journey with us, and we look forward to working with you in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you. Very well said. This is a great presentation. Certainly, like I said, a conversation starter, conversation for all of us to have, and we'll see what we can do to get Barbara to go at Van Riper before she goes.
That's it from us tonight, but thank you everyone for your time here and we're looking forward to working together to come to a solution.
Thank you. And I do believe we have a need for executive session tonight. For, thank you. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975 permits the exclusion of the public from meeting in certain circumstances. And whereas the public body is of the opinion that such circumstances exist. And whereas the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley in the County of Essex and State of New Jersey desires to proceed to close executive session. And now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley move into close executive session to discuss contract negotiations and litigation. Be it further resolved that at the time when such discussions may be disclosed to the public shall be when and such disclosures may be made without adversely affecting the Township of Nutley, pending and or anticipated legal, personnel, contractual matters, and other matters within the exceptions provided for by statute. This resolution shall take effect immediately. Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca.
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye, and we won't be conducting any more business this evening, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move it.
Second.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca. Mayor Kelly.
Aye.
Time is now 8:18.